Hopefully it's going. Howdy, howdy. Welcome. Thank you for joining us for this episode of Office Hours. Today we have a presenter. Our presenter today is Celine Valentine. She is a solutions engineer at HashiCorp, and she'll be assisted by Dave Randolph. And we're going to be talking about Terraform, Vault, and Boundary. So take it away. And thanks for
Yeah,
joining, Celine. Thank
thank
you.
you. Uh, Hello, everyone. Is there any way, when since that I can see everybody's name and everything?
No, all I can show is that I can see right now that we have two people that have joined.
Oh,
Um,
two. Okay, two people. Okay, what are their names?
it doesn't give any names, so I'm sorry, unless
Oh,
they say something in the chat. So like I'll say
uh-huh.
hello.
Yeah. Can you guys send me a chat to see if you can hear me okay? Because actually, when since I heard some echoes from you, but I just wanna have
You,
them.
you sound good, Celine.
Okay.
Yeah, you
Sounds
sound
good.
good.
Dave. Yes, very good. And who else are in this chat? Could you type your name?
Uh, well, looks like I guess we had two people, both of them dropped. So,
Oh,
but go ahead, just
just just get
keep talking.
started.
It's because we're kind of late. So, but
Oh, I'm sorry.
that's all right, but just go ahead and start with your presentation, and it's going to be recorded on YouTube, and people can watch it later.
Sure, sure. Hi everyone, I'm Celine Valentine, Solutions Engineer at HashiCorp. So nice to meet you all. So it's my first time coming to this Hug event. Heard great things about it from my colleague Dave, who also joined us today. So I'm very excited to be here. So for today's agenda, I will be quickly sharing some HashiDays product announcements. Then Dave and I will do Q&A at the end. So a little bit about myself. I've been in HashiCorp for 5 months. Prior to this role, I was at SE in a DevOps web hosting startup company and did some full stack developer as well. And so before working in tech, I was actually a STEM teacher for 8 years. Besides work, I really like spending good time with my family and playing piano. By the way, I'm based in Houston area. So before I start, I guess I won't do the survey because you said those audience, we just wait for them to join again. But otherwise, I would like to have a quick survey to get to know a little bit about them, like their background and their familiarity of HashiCorp products. So very good. So let's jump right in. As you may know, in HashiCorp stack, it's usually categorized into 4 areas. So from what I learned, open source communities are very familiar with Terraform and Vault um, at the first two layers, infrastructure and security. But today I also want to briefly share more about new releases for the other two, console and boundary at networking and application layer. So let's start with Terraform, at least my best friend, if it's not yours. So the goal with infrastructure provisioning is to establish an infrastructure as code platform as shared service to the rest of your organization to provision any cloud networking, private data center, or SaaS. So what do I mean by this? So as you can see, there are different stages going from adopting, standardizing to scaling. So as an organization gets started on the cloud adoption, they get started with infrastructure provisioning, workflow, things, getting things set up, and using infrastructure as code to go basically provision any of the infrastructure that they want to. It could be AWS or Azure or GCP. It's all about getting started for the first cloud and take a use case and being able to provision infrastructure and deploy a set of applications on top of that. Then as they mature, organization can move on and be able to use the same workflow to do their networking, and then use the same workflow to do their private data center, and also want to be able to do the same workflow with all their SaaS applications. So Terraform provides just that. It is pretty much the standard for infrastructure as code to provision, and also ability to manage infrastructure throughout its life cycle. This really is no easy task, but Terraform is able to do that. So with over 2,800 different providers in the registry, it's fair to say Terraform can do infrastructure as code for any types of infrastructure, whether it's cloud, networking, private data center, or any sort of SaaS. So that's why Terraform is the best in class for provisioning your workflow. So for this, I just want to use the same map just to give you the visual, the overview of what Terraform features are released at what stage when you provision your infrastructure. I'll talk about feature that addresses the aspect of provisioning workflow, then moving on to the infrastructure lifecycle. As you can see, there are all numbers, so I will go in that order. So first is at this phase. Okay, so let's go into it. So for this one, what we're talking about is, oh, you can see the labeling right here as well. And so this one is to use, this is vault-backed dynamic credentials. I just want to see if there are any chats that I need to pay attention to. Okay, so this one is we're addressing problems, kind of like a static credentials problem. So if you save all your passwords and everything in your save files, they are not safe, right? So they have a lot of security risk, even if you rotate your credentials regularly. So dynamic provider credentials improve your security posture by letting you provision new temporary credentials for each run. So once you use it, it's gone. Nobody can hack it. So you can configure dynamic credentials for each Terraform Cloud workspace. This workflow eliminates the need to manually manage and rotate credentials across your organization. It also lets you use cloud platforms, authentication and authorization tools to scope permission based on the metadata, such as runs phase, its workspace, or its organization. And there are two ways of doing it. One is just to configure your cloud platform and Terraform Cloud together. And the other way is actually to use Vault in the middle to get this done. It's very useful if you are into one of those two use cases. One is to use Vault, the secret engines, as a centralized way to manage and consolidate cloud credentials management. It's very useful, say, if you're having multi-cloud approach. You have a little bit credentials, you have to manage in GCP, a little bit in Azure or Alibaba, all of those cloud. But Vault is kind of like a brokerage that can manage everything on a control plane. So in this case, you can centralize and manage all of that in one place. The second one, the use case is to generate short-lived credentials without exposing their Terraform enterprise instances, the OIDC metadata endpoints, to the broader public internet. So that's also very common among our enterprise customers. So let's actually see in live action. So this is, you can take a look. You just hit the play button. So over here, you can go to, this is the Terraform cloud. Let me go back. The sound you might not hear, but I can just narrate, no problem. So here you are in Terraform cloud, and when you go here, you will go to variable sets, and basically, if you have variables such as AWS, all of that, you can set all of those in here, and then you can share with all of your organizations or workspaces. So let's take a look. So this one is the set that is specifically for assuming roles or base, and this is behind the scene. You set all of those TFC vault backed AWS, such as I can go back. So we have a documentation, very detailed, shows you how to do it. But basically, you have to establish the trust. All of those things, they are not secret, so you can expose it. They can't really steal anything from you. That there are like your ARN, all of those like trues or false. All of those are not secret, not sensitive. So those are the things you just set up, and then let Vault manage all of those, rotating the credentials and manage and revoke it and all of that. So now you can go in and say you have no code module, and you can use that to provision your new workspace. And this is a very typical no code module, and this is the things you can set up in order to start to run. And now this workspace no code module started, and yeah, it goes really quickly, but at the end it works because if you don't use the vault backed dynamic credentials, there are a lot of behind the scene, and every time when you have to do this again after, say, it expired, you have to do this all over again. With Vault, you don't need to worry about it. Once you establish the trust, just let Vault do the rest. So this is kind of one time doing the setup, which is very easy as well, and then you can just leave it and don't worry about it. All right, and then so the next one is also in that number one phase, is that there's a new feature that addresses importing existing infrastructure problem. The challenges are around importing existing infrastructure one resource at a time, and you have to create matching resource blocks manually, and sometimes they're not even having the UI or VCS support in the Terraform cloud. And so the typical error people see is kind of like this. Resources is not found or something like that. So it's kind of a little painful, right, to debug that. So the good news is this new feature called config-driven import is very saving you a lot of time. So basically, they get rid of all of those manual work, and you can codify everything and then import them in bulk. And you can even review all the planned import before adding to the state, and automatically generate the code for resources. So you just save a lot of time. And it supports all of those things like UI, VCS, and CLI workflows. So it doesn't even require any provider credentials to import. So it's definitely good news for those Terraform users. And so let's take a look in live action what it looks like. So right here in this import .tf, you're going to see let me go back a little bit. Again, it's quite fast. And then you can have this command right here to generate the code. And so let it run. And it's 11 import. So basically just that command. It didn't have that. Used to be just you have to go back to your .tf file to manually add the blocks. So now it's getting smarter and generate configuration into this generated .tf file. So you can review it and then later add to your VCS workflow. And so this is the part where it's auto-generated, the ID, so it can identify which one is imported. So it's really easy to debug. It's all auto-generated lines of code that you didn't have to worry about. And then in the UI, you can see as well. So, so all of those things that used to be kind of painful, that it has the bugs, give you the errors. See here is like will be imported. So all of those things you have control before you even execute the run. So I thought this one is really neat. And then you can take a look at that import file as well. Very good. All right, so the second one is kind of like the map. It's about the life cycle, infrastructure life cycle. So the first one is dealing with visibility. So sometimes we feel like there are so many things we need to look at it and manage, but wouldn't it be nice if there's a organized way visually we can actually see, such as modules, providers, Terraform itself, what kind of versions, how many modules, providers are we talking about, and kind of like having that kind of visual, organization. So it's definitely, if you don't have this kind of visibility, the risk is higher, right? You introduce that risk of managing those outdated resources and versioning, and you might add more extra workflow along with that. So this one, we introduce you this Terraform Explorer. So you can easily see each, each of those things like modules, providers, and Terraform versioning, and just the information about workspaces in an organized fashion. At the end of the day, it really helps you improve your efficiency across your organization. Because, it's kind of like, do you want to live in a organized and neat bedroom? Every day is pleasant, or everything is kind of very, very everywhere. It's hard to find. So for me, yeah, I can talk to you about that all day long. So, so this is a kind of a UI. You can take a look at the Explorer. If you click on modules, providers, and all of that, it will give you the insights, and it can rank. So what are those top module versions? What are those top provider versions? What are those workspaces without VCS? All of that, they kind of organize in a way, give you some insights. And here, again, just kind of give you another snapshot. Once you get to the Terraform versioning, it actually counts. With this version, it's only one workspace is using that, but the old one, there are 9 workspaces are using this. So it might give you some insight. Oh, is it time to do this overall cleanup and upgrading? And then, a provider module is the same thing, just to give you a lot of those views that usually is hard to manually query. So let's take a look at this. So when you go to Explore, again, you can click on it. This is Terraform Cloud. And then go in, just glance through, by name, your workspace name, project name, modules, and many fields that you can take a look. And then you can take a look at the modules. What are those information you can gather about versioning and the source providers? They're similar. Yeah, so there are definitely a lot of things that you can explore. Yeah, as the name suggested. Okay, so very quickly, the last one before we go to Vault is that when it comes to testing your infrastructure in a dev environment or managing your inactive workspaces, ephemeral workspaces comes in handy. So I help you set TTL, kind of like if you don't want it, if you want to expire in a certain time interval, you can just do that, and it automatically will, by the time it expired, will automatically clean up the resources for you. Personally, I really like this because I just sometimes get forgetful and forget to clean up, and that would add more bills, on my AWS account, and I didn't want that, but so this will definitely help your organization cut the cloud waste. And so this is just a quick look at this. So automatically destroy by what date? Actually a calendar, and by what time? And then you can set. You can even do more. You can even do notifications sent to your Slack or auto destroy and all of that. Integration is great. There are just so many ways of setting this automatically so you don't have to worry about it. Yes, so now we can talk about the Vault highlights, and if we run out of time, then we can definitely just stop after Vault. I do realize I kind of, we do have the time limit here. So anyway, so feel free to remind me of the time as well. Okay, so Vault is, this is a very kind of good overview about this use cases. So the product we're here to talk about is this identity-based product. So it's at the security layer. Vault is the standard for security automation for access to secrets and sensitive data, and uses trusted identities to broker connections between applications and users. So one of the foundational use cases for Vault is secrets management. When we say secrets for security, we mean a piece of information used for authenticating into a workflow, which can be plain text, username, passwords embedded in your scripts, or API keys in your source code, or PKI certificates, or even hard-coded firewall rules. Secrets can be static and long-lived, which Vault can manage, or they can be dynamic, where credentials are short-lived and ephemeral, and valid for only a short period of time, and then revoked where new ones are issued and rotated. And this where Vault really shines in delivering just-in-time credentials with the help of many ecosystem integrations and plugins that enables Vault to generate secrets on demand for many secret types. So in other words, Vault is very pluggable. In terms of credentials, they span many platform types, from cloud IAM providers to databases to Kubernetes. And as an identity broker, Vault can authenticate applications using other trusted identity sources such as Okta, AD, or GitHub. Vault can also be used as a PKI engine to generate certificates on demand and as a certificate authority to manage the life cycle of creating, rotating, and issuing certificates. And lastly, Vault can help protect your data at rest by centrally managing and automating encryption keys such as your cloud KMS, or act as a KMIP server to clients that retrieve cryptic information via KMIP protocols or some other software security modules in that matter. So there are just a lot of use cases in those different categories. And this one is basically similar, kind of mirroring that, adoption journey for Terraform. So this one is Vault. And I plan to also talk about this in terms of this phases. So the new features we're addressing point here, where it's a workflow kind of how we can make this experience better at this point. Storing, generating static secrets, that kind of use case. So let's take a look. So here the challenge is when you kind of like you have the secret sprouts, and it's just all the secrets are everywhere, and rotating them are very complex and time consuming. And also, just operational wise, it's just it takes forever for developers to get this workflow going. And so what we do is we have this Vault sitting in here as a central like a control plane to manage all of that. So you don't have to go to different consoles for different platform to manage different secrets. And so here we introduce you this Vault HCP Vault secrets. And so basically this Vault secret centralized this using the shared service to broker access to secrets. So we have this cloud offering and free to get started. But then after you scale up, of course, you can, kind of like it grows with you, with your usage. And it directly sync cloud native secrets. So HashiCorp operated for built-in reliability and security compliance, and also billing and products. So this demo is feeding a token and a channel name into a Python script to emulate Slack bot. So let's take a look. Let me make it bigger. Okay, so once you are here, it's actually a HCP platform, and then it will start it from the Vault. So you can see you have boundary and all of that, and one of that is a Vault secret. So back then there was no such a thing. We just have Vault, but now we added this. So you click on this, it's gonna continue, and you have this overview. And so you can create your first application. You can give a name and description and create the app. So add some secrets to try it. Slack token, you can put a value there. Okay, add another one. Channel, what is the value of that? So 2 secrets, and you can do Vault login, initialize it, and you can see the application name there. So we can just get started. So this is using that, you can easily get the secrets information here. And then let's run the command Python. This is just run the Python script. There we go. So the very end is just ended really fast. So I just want to say, the end result, they just want to showcase, basically they managed the secret that you can get into your Slack vault, set up easily. So without this, you have to manually, managing all that secrets in different places, whether it's on Slack or whatever the cloud platform you are in. And then let's go. Yeah, we still have some time, so let's take a look. Can you guys hear this voice? Dave, can you hear? This, for example, here, I just try to show you. This is a longer demo. So basically, I'm playing the longer version, but at the end, she is showing you the actual code. All right. Yes. Could I get some feedback so far? Can you guys hear me, or you're okay? Vincent, are you here? Okay. I will after it seems like a okay. Okay, got it. Thank you, Dave. Yeah, it seems like you can hear us. Okay, very good. So just a quick overview. So when we use the HCP Vault, so what is the difference between that, the one that you're familiar with, and the new one? So the HCP Vault secrets, we have it here. So this is deployment wise is on SaaS, and the HCP Vault is HashiCorp managed. And then, of course, Vault Enterprise is the self-managed. So actually, there are like three things compare with. And the use cases is basically secrets management, so you can integrate easily with your existing secret manager like AWS manager or Key Vault in Azure, stuff like that. And HCP Vault, you can do secrets management, data encryption. So this is more, you can manage more things. But this one is, I think, is very easy to use and very useful and handy when you have a lot of those, like a secret manager that you have to manage outside of HCP. Then you can come in the one place and manage everything. So that's where it shines. And then the second one is, remember the map? It's also lying in the beginning, kind of like secrets management. So this is actually for managing your Kubernetes cluster. So you have this K8. And the challenge is, even though we can use a sidecar, but it's just really hard to to manage and communicate all of that. I would say if you can communicate it, but just if you have 4, it's fine. But if you can think about having 400, and each one has agent sidecar to manage, it can be laboring. And so this is a kind of feeling like a lack of a central control for access and permission. It's just when you scale, it can be difficult. And so the solution is we actually added this Vault Secrets operator sitting right there on the control plane. So what it does is developers will be able to maintain the known workflow and whatever the setup you configured for a pods, just leave it like that. And then you can offload the secrets management to Vault. So Vault can just manage everything, abstract that layer. So platform teams can focus on security operations and using Vault. So you can do the Vault, specialized things such as enforcing, basically having the control policies that related to secret management. Anyway, so I think I will stop here, and next session, I definitely would love to finish off, and I think this is a good time to, stop, and so we can say boundary and console for the next time. I think today we have a very good idea about the new releases for Vault and Terraform, and those are, as I said, very familiar with, like for our community, as far as I know. So next session will be interesting if, when we talk about new things like boundary and console. And they have the open source version as well, so we can talk about those. So I will stop here and taking some questions.
Yeah, I don't see any other questions. Do you have any questions, Mars, or anybody else have any questions for Celine?
Yeah, anyone, Winston, do you have questions? And
no, we're good. But yeah, no, it's very interesting, and we really appreciate you hopping on here and helping us out and educating us a little bit more about law and how things work. And no, it's really, really good. And we look forward to having you come back and talk about the other pieces. And everyone else, just we have office hours or happy hour, whatever you want to call it, every Thursday at 4 p.m. So just, just jump in and join our Discord. And that's where we normally meet. And then once a month, we'll have a talk. So if Celine would like to come back, maybe Next month, the last Thursday of the month is when we normally have these kind of events. So we have a speaker that comes talk to us. But just for in general, just for Hangout, basically it's basically a Hangout every week. Just feel free to join us, ask any questions, and let us know what you want to talk about or what you need or how we can help. So we're here to help, and we're trying to grow the community. And also, don't forget to send an email to dfwhugs@gmail.com if you want a ticket to DevOps Days DFW. We are a community sponsor for them, so they have given us some tickets, and it's first come, first serve. So if you're interested in going,
Mm-hmm.
please send an email to DFW hugs@gmail.com. And thank you very much for everything, Celine, and thank everybody for joining us. And we'll catch you on the next one. Thanks, Dave, as well. I'll take care.
Thank you. Take care. Bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.